Hey everybody, it's Hope Wiseman and we're here at the Gathering Spot for the Power Players, the Women Behind the Brands panel. And I'm here with some amazing women. I can't wait to get started.
So Hope is the CEO and founder of Wiseman and owner of Marion, Maine. She made history in 2018 as the youngest Black woman dispensary owner in the United States.
Thank you.
What moment or realization pushed you to take the leap and start your business?
Okay, so I've told the story about what I do and why a lot of times. But when I first started my business, it was really all about creating economic opportunity and building generational wealth for me and my family. And that's what everything that I did was surrounded around. However, as I actually started running my business and, realizing that the work I was doing was impacting way more than just me and my family, it was impacting my community around me. And I realized that my why really had begun to shift. And it was less about, me and what I could build for myself. And it was more about the impact that I could make and how much I could give back to the community. So through Marion, Maine and Wise Co., our parent company, we have been able to, I think we have hired, I counted the other day, over 250 people over the past 7 years. We've been able to partner with different nonprofits. We've been able to launch healthcare initiatives and wellness initiatives through our store. We've been able to just really pour back into the community that raised me. My store is in Prince George's County, Maryland. I'm born and raised here. So it has been extremely fulfilling, and it's really made me shift my why from what can I build for myself to what can I build for me and everyone around me. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, how do you build a team in community that supports your growth, especially when resources are limited, especially in the beginning?
So, something that I think is changing in the way that businesses market, right, is the founder being the marketer, right? And being out front and telling your story and kind of walking people through the process. And I feel like that is a great way when you're first starting out. Walk people through it, show them the highs and the lows. And in reality, even once you've made it, it's almost inevitable that you can't separate being the face of your brand and actually operating it. You really can't, not in this day and age, because people want to be able to trust you. And in order for you to build trust, social media is a free way for you to get on. Look, TikTok, you don't even have to be cute on there or anything. Just put it up and talk and explain what you're going through. It doesn't have to be polished anymore. It doesn't have to look like a full-on Nike campaign. It doesn't have to be a full-on rollout. It can just be walking people through your journey. So I think that that's a great way for early stage entrepreneurs to, market their brand and get themselves out there.
So how do you balance being the face of your brand while you're operating it at the same time?
I mean, if someone else wants to go, there's really no balance, but I'll let somebody else.
No, that's correct. There is no perfect balance. What advice would you give to a woman who wants to turn a passion project into a profitable business?
When you started talking, it made me think about what I wish I had known in the beginning, because I had a moment of analysis paralysis in the beginning, but I didn't really have a choice because I had an application window that I had to apply in to get my original license. So I had to jump. But what I wish I would have known then was there's really just 3 things if you have an idea and you need to turn it into a real business. And the first thing is, and you kind of said this earlier, what is your market? Are you solving a problem? And then do people care enough to pay you for that? And then it is, what is your revenue model? How are you going to make money? Are you selling a product, service, subscription, whatever it is that you do, memberships like the Gathering Spot? And the last thing is, how are you going to market it? How are people going to follow you or find you? Because people always say that, you build it and they'll come, and that's not necessarily true. You have to literally scream and make a lot of noise and touch them multiple times, and then they'll come. There is a science behind all of this. And the real truth is that if you don't start, it's just gonna be an idea in your notes app. And honestly too, the people, us, or people that you look up to, they're no different than you. They're no smarter than you. They're no better than you. They just took chances and they failed more times than you. And they were able to refine their ideas and get better until they found a strategy or a business or a brand that stuck. And that's the only difference.
How do you protect your peace while still showing up for your purpose?
Nobody talks about, I think what Ali said about how we look at ourselves as the business, so the business is good, we're good. And I relate to that so much. And I've had to do so much internal shadow work to figure out who I am, what I actually care about, and what my priorities are. And that's helped me stay grounded and separate myself and my emotions from the business. So everything you guys said, I was like, yes. The only thing I can add to that is that, and Tiffany was kind of getting into this, peace looks different for everybody, right? So what society tells you, or even what someone you might look up to, or somebody in your industry, or someone might tell you they do to be peaceful, or what their idea of success is, you have to figure out what that means for you. And that's something that was really, really tough for me, because right now in this season of life that I'm in, one of my main goals and priorities is to build and scale, build. That's like all I think about. That's what excites me right now. Honestly, meditation doesn't excite me much right now. I'm like, sometimes when I'm like out and all that stuff, doing like fun stuff, I'm like, man, I was trying to build this. Yeah, like I was supposed to be. And honestly, I find so much more peace. I stayed up the other night, way longer than I should have. And I got like so excited when I figured out a problem. I literally got up and turned on a song and danced, and it was 4 a.m. And I was like, but that was peace to me. That was joy. That's happiness. And that's what it looks like in this season. There will be other seasons of my life where I will heavily prioritize rest. I might take a month off, and y'all can't call me then. I might do that. Or when I have kids, it'll be me prioritizing my family at that moment. Right now, though, I do find peace and joy in work and progress. So define what it looks like for you.
Have you ever experienced imposter syndrome? And how do you move through it?
I'll go ahead and say I experience imposter syndrome to this day. And it's interesting because I realized the more successful and the more recognition I get, right? The higher pedestal that other people put me on. But it's almost like in my head, the lower, the one I'm on. It's crazy how my brain works, right? I'm really tough on myself and all of that. So again, I do a lot of internal work to understand the things that really matter to me, and to separate, again, my accomplishments and all the accolades and even the compliments and all those things from feeling like self-worth, because they're not always around, and you do a lot of things alone. It's actually very, very lonely and isolating. You actually have to sit with your own thoughts so much and really process them and make decisions that impact so many people around you. And that can be heavy. And it will take just a lot of kindness to yourself, right? So when you feel like I don't belong here or anything like that, know that that person that you're looking up to, Bill Gates, he's a white man, so maybe not him. Beyonce probably still has moments where she feels like, maybe, am I good enough? Jay-Z still has people that he goes up next to and he still feels like, should I be in here with him? It's normal, it's in there, but we are breaking these chains. And I would say that all of us, we have a duty to the next generation of Black women behind us to make sure that we tell them you are worthy. That's why I keep showing up and being visible, even though I don't always want to be on. My visibility inspires trust, and it inspires the next generation. So we all have to keep showing up, being confident, holding our head up high for that little girl that we once were that is looking at us now.
If you could offer one word of encouragement or one sentence of encouragement to your younger self, what would it be? And then we're gonna open it up for questions from the floor.
So my younger self, I was extremely ambitious, very young, right? So I wish that I could go back and tell my younger self that don't worry, girl, your legacy will build itself. I was trying, I was like trying to do things. It's funny, I have a younger brother he's 20 now, who's in college, and he's like, I gotta start something. I'm like, start what? And he's like, I don't know, I just gotta start something. And I'm like, yeah, you're just like me. You're just like me. And he's watching me and all that stuff. But no, you can't just like start something. You have to go back to what I was saying earlier, like identify your goals, priorities, identify what success looks like for you. And then your legacy starts building itself. Your legacy is who you are. It's what you do. It's the things that you do every day, right? So you don't have to try so hard. It will come because your legacy is who you are.
All right, we have time for just a few questions.
A couple of you guys have talked about your teams. What is y'all's number one best practice on choosing a team?
I need people that believe in my vision, that are bought in, right? So how Tiffany was talking about how like everyone around her is, honestly, my brother was joking. He was like, we just built like an army of like Wiseman family supporters, And my GM, he's been with us since day one. He was in my mom's office. My mom's a dentist by trade. So he was in the break room with me writing our original application. He's now my GM. He's been with us 8 years. Assistant manager, same way, like all my main people. Right now, my videographer, photographer is here from my right hand, pretty much my chief of staff, who has been with me. We met at a conference where he was out filming me and trying to meet people in the industry, came up to me and said, hey, like I took this content of you. I would love for you, if it's good, I'd love to just get like 10 minutes of your time to talk about an idea I have. And he started pitching me this idea about getting all these cannabis companies together to raise money. Long story short, that didn't happen. But through that, I realized, wow, this man is amazing. And I gotta hire him. I gotta find something for him to do and some money for him before other people do, because I just see the vision of my life and I see him right behind me. And Nadir believes in me, and he doesn't, he sees how he's building himself through my vision. He doesn't want to be me. He doesn't want to take what I have. The people around me don't want that. They really actually believe in me. They put me up on their shoulders. And that is so unique to find. That's why when I find these people, I pay them good, the best I can. And before I could, I made promises. I gave some people equity. I did those things and I made it real. Through paperwork, all of that, because I knew I needed people around me that built me up, because I'm also a Black woman around a lot of white men, and I need that. I need the confidence. I need when I walk off the stage, you did great. You did great. You did a good job. Even if I did terrible, I got you, girl. I'm gonna protect you. Yeah, I'm gonna protect you, and the people around me protect me. That's my only criteria. I could teach you how to do everything because I know how to do it. I learned how to do it first. I make SOPs, systems, all that stuff. I could teach you how to do anything, but if you're passionate and you're good, you gotta be good, I could teach you how to do anything.
What is one thing that you all did when preparing to pitch to investors? One thing that best prepared you for that pitch?
So, hey girl, I have pitched I pretty much bootstrapped my entire company with the help of my two founders, one of which being my mother, the other longtime family friend. They're both dentists by trade. So they were able to help with some of the startup costs and all that good stuff. But pretty much we did it just us. And I'm in an industry that, startup costs for a cannabis business, we talking $1 million plus. Cultivation, we're talking like $10 million basic level startup costs. So this is like big boy. When I got to the point when I wanted to and needed to raise money for real, that's when I realized it's very difficult. We already heard VC funding almost obsolete for us. Even going to the bank and getting debt financing is very difficult for us unless we qualify for special programs and all of that. I'm in an industry that's federally illegal, so I don't even qualify for anything for any reason. And the loans that we can get are very predatory, high interest, hard money lending, essentially. So when I did begin to pitch, the key is really those things that I was saying earlier, make them very, very clear to your investors. If you're pitching to someone who is a real investor, they are sophisticated, that they know what they're talking about. They don't need all that fluff in the beginning, maybe one little slide about your total addressable market and all of that. They don't need all that market research. They've likely done that themselves. That's why they're even talking to you, right? And all they want to know is, what's the problem that you're solving? How much money do you need to solve it? And then how much money do you stand to make? Because investors want to see a certain ROI. And this is why VC funding, I'm like, it's good that it's not available to us as Black women, because don't nobody need that type of pressure on us. You don't need that type of pressure on you unless you have the type of business that has the ability to scale and grow 10 times within 2 years. If you don't have that type of business model, which unless you're building an app, it just depends on what you're building, but a lot of people, coaching businesses, or if you're opening a yoga studio, one yoga studio, and you're not trying to grow it, you got a candle company, you don't need VC funding. You don't need funding. Like, you need to start small and invest and figure out how to market your product and grow, and then build an MVP, because that's when people invest in you. People want to invest in a winner. Are you a winner? Like, make yourself a winner first. That's what I did. Thank you.